How disciplined are you about getting your writing done? Do you feel that maybe you need to be more disciplined and maybe you need some steps or some skills to learn in order to become more disciplined? Well, if that's the case, then that's what we're going to be discussing today. Welcome to the Julia Monte channel. If we're just meeting, I am Julia Monte. And so let's get to it. Today we're going to talk about how to become more disciplined, or really what may be keeping you from being more disciplined about your writing and getting your work done that you want to do and that you maybe put off and don't get done. So the first thing that I want to talk about is that in order to be more disciplined, we really need to be clear and honest about why we're doing what we're doing and what our goals are. So you probably know that this goes for anything, right? Anytime that you want to get something done, you need to really focus on it and say, okay, this is why I'm doing this. This is my reason why I'm doing it, and get really clear on what the benefits are going to be, spending the time, because writing takes a lot of time, right? You have to spend a lot of time by yourself, just you and your computer, getting things done and writing your story. And so if we're going to spend that much time doing something, we really need to understand why we're doing it and be really clear, like what the benefits are, what our goals are, sort of that long-term goal of the reason behind the writing in the first place. Like what is this story going to do for you? So we know this, I think, when it comes to other things, right? So if we're going to, let's say, lose weight, we are doing it for a reason. We want to look better, we want to feel better, we want to look better in our clothes, whatever. So we know why we're doing it, and we have sort of that motivation to get it done. And the same thing goes for writing. So why is it that you want to do it? Be really clear, write down the goal, and look at sort of the long term, what this book is going to mean to you and why it's important to get it done. And typically what happens is we get things done that we really, really want to do, and we get things done that we need to do, right? So the reason that I spend time making dinner for my family every night, and sometimes every afternoon, make lunch, is because it needs to get done, right? So when my kids were little, it was because I wanted them to eat well, and I wanted them, well, that's the same reason now, but when they're little, you really want to, right? Because otherwise you have to feed your kids, and you have to make sure that they're not getting into the Girl Scout cookies and the Cheetos and all that stuff and eating that because they're hungry. So, and it will eliminate those problems. Is getting rid of the food that is not good for them, but also feeding them, right? Making sure that they get fed. And now that they're older, I do kind of the same reason, right? I want to make sure that they're eating. They're not just making a sandwich, they're doing something. And now that they're at home and they're not away at college, or they're doing college at home, I get the opportunity to continue to do that. So I do it because I feel like I need to, because it helps them. And once they go back to college, they're probably going to continue to eat terrible. So this is my opportunity to give them good food. So I do it because I want to, and because I feel like I need to. Well, we need to have that same feeling about writing. We need to feel like this is a necessity, because if we don't do it, what does it mean, right? If we don't ever get that book done, how is it going to make you feel knowing that maybe you could have done it but you didn't do it? Or you're always going to wonder what might have been. Might have been a bestseller, or maybe you might have helped somebody who really needed to read your story to make a decision or to change their life, and then you didn't write it and didn't have that effect on someone. So think about exactly, be really clear and be really honest about why you want to get your book done. Okay, the second way that we get more disciplined is to schedule things. And I've talked about this before, I think on previous videos and definitely in my blog, is that we need to schedule things. We need to write it down. So if I don't write down that I am going to be writing a certain amount of hours per day, then I'm not going to do it because it's not on my schedule. It also becomes very easy to do something else, right? So if it's not written down that in the evening I'm going to write, or in the morning, or whenever it is that I want to get the writing done, then if something else comes up, then I'm going to just do it because it's not on my schedule. So some people write better in the morning, some people write better in the afternoon, some people write whenever they can, right? So scheduling it during your lunch hour, doing whenever you have a little time to do some writing, but put it on there and then don't do anything else during that time. And that's, that's something that you're going to have to do, because if you don't schedule it and add it as a thing that has to get done today, then it won't get done. So part of being disciplined is just putting it on a schedule as a thing that needs to get done for the day. And if you do that, then you're more likely to get that done. Okay, another way to become more disciplined is to ask people to help you. Now, I'm really, really bad about this. So I'm not a great role model, but I'm trying to get better. So I do have some things, right? Like I have my gardener, and I have somebody that comes every other week to help me clean my house. And it's a huge luxury, but it's also to me a necessity, because it has to get done. And so, like, my husband has said, we're kind of mentioned sometimes, boy, that's kind of expensive. And it's like, well, yeah, it's expensive, but I'd rather have her than have anybody else or anything else, or movie night or anything else, right? Because this frees me to at least make sure that my house is clean during that time, and to keep it clean, and to almost clean up before the cleaning service gets there, so that they can clean better. And so it forces me to get some things done, and it frees up that time so that I can be disciplined about my work, because that's important, right? So having a perfectly clean house is nice, but it's not as important as getting my writing done and my other work, because I'm also a college instructor and I need to get that work done. I have no choice. And so I also, because I'm clear on what I want, I have no choice about getting my writing done. So ask for help, and if you have family members, ask them for help in doing things. If you need help with writing, like one thing that I don't ever do is try to do my own book covers on my books. And the reason that I don't do that is because that's not my expertise, and it would take me such a long time to try to get a good cover, and it probably wouldn't turn out well, right? I'm not an expert on creating the mood of a book, or using color right, or the white space, or adding a title, or choosing the right font. That's not my expertise. So if I tried to do that, for example, and I didn't ask for help, or in this case hire help, right, I would just create a cover that isn't as good, and it would take up a bunch of my time. So think about things of what you can ask maybe people for help, and then also maybe hire people to do some of the things that you are not good at, and that it would help you just to have somebody else do it for you. Okay, and connected to that is being able to say no. That's another thing I'm not that great at, is saying no. And that's because if we, tend to be nice people, right? And we all want to be nice, and we all want to help everybody else. Anytime somebody asks us for something, or asks us for help, or tells us about an event that they're doing and we want to support them, we tend to say, sure, I'll do that, or I'll be there. And that can be troublesome, because, if you spend your time just doing things for other people, but you don't ever do the writing, which is what you need to do, then that creates a problem. So just learning to say no, or I can't, or not right now, is something that you have to learn how to do, because if not, you're not going to get your writing done. So if you do what I mentioned on number 2, which was to schedule your writing time, and you've done your writing, and you've done the other things that are on your list that you need to do for your job or for yourself, and you have time, well, then that's awesome. Then you can do it, right? Then you can go places, you can do the things that other people are wanting you to do. But if you haven't done that, then you wouldn't leave your job, right, to go do something. You wouldn't tell your boss, I can't come to work today because I need to babysit my friend's little boy, or, right, you wouldn't do something like that. Or I need to go to my friend's event, so I can't come to work today. So treat your writing the same way. If you can do something, then obviously you want to do something for someone else if they're asking you for a favor. But if you can't, if you haven't done your writing yet, then you have to say no, and say that, not right now, but, ask me again later, or ask me next week, or another time when you do have that free time. And another way to be more disciplined, and to feel more disciplined, like you really feel like doing your writing and your work, is to get enough rest and to get some exercise. So as you can see, I'm outside right now. I've taken my dogs for a walk. So on the days that I can't take my dogs for a walk, then I will go for a swim. And that gives me some exercise. And I'm watching right now a little bunny go run across the orange fields, and hoping my dogs don't chase the bunny. But So getting the exercise and getting enough rest. So I'm pretty good at exercise, so I will make sure that I make that a priority, and I do that so that I have the energy and I have the discipline to stay up late. So if I need to stay up and work, then, and if I've gotten enough sleep and exercise, then there's no problem, right? I can stay up and I can be an effective writer rather than just falling asleep. And then I used to do a lot more of that. Like I would just write in the evening after work until I was almost falling asleep on my keyboard. And sometimes it's okay to do that. Sometimes you have to, right? Because you need to get it done, what you're writing done. And you just had a really busy day or week. And the only way to get it done is to actually stay up a little late. But if you do that every day and you're not getting the rest that you need, that could be a problem, right? Because you're just going to burn yourself out, and you're going to think, oh, I'm just not disciplined enough to do my work. Well, it's not that. It's just that you're exhausted, you're tired, and you don't have the energy to do what you need to do. So make sure that you're getting your rest, make sure that you're finding time to exercise and keeping your body strong. Okay, something else that you might want to do is to kind of document your progress. So one of the things that a lot of, if you read books on personal development and how to do well and how to achieve success, they will say to document what you're doing. So write down, because we forget, right? We go through our day and we do all this stuff, and then we get to the end of the week and we're like, oh, I didn't get anything done. And it's like, yeah, you did, if you just kind of go back and look at what you did. I have a book actually from John Steinbeck that I went to the John Steinbeck Museum. And he has a museum, and it's really cool, actually. And it's in Salinas, California, by the way, if you ever want to go. And I bought this book there, and it was a book that I believe his children published after he died. And it was a journal where, when he was writing the book East of Eden, he would write in this journal in sort of letter style. He was writing to his, I think it was his agent. And he, every day, like when he finished writing, he would write down like his progress, how he's doing, what he's thinking of the characters, why the characters are doing the things that they're doing, and what he hopes to do. And it's super interesting, especially if you read East of Eden. So I had read that book at that point, not long before that, and then I bought the book, the journal. And it was interesting to kind of read, like, sort of behind the scenes, like what he was thinking, right? And but the thing he was doing was documenting what he was doing. So, this day worked well. This day I had interruptions and I didn't get as much done. Or this day was so-and-so's party and I really don't want to go. And he was like really particular about his pencils and all that. And back then he was handwriting everything. So it's documenting what you do and seeing your successes and what works is really nice. Now, I don't want to give you like an extra writing assignment. It's some of us have a hard enough time just finding the time to write. So I do document it, but not in that fashion. Like I don't write a journal on like how I'm doing with writing, just because I just don't have time. It's really cool. I probably would like to do that, but I do keep track of like the pages that I'm writing, or really the hours that I'm putting in, because I write more by hour than by pages. And so I will write down, actually, before the week starts, how many pages I intend to do. So how many pages am I going to, how much time do I plan to spend on Monday? How much time do I have on Tuesday? How much time? So as long as I'm writing every day, sometimes it might be 2 hours on one day, and it might be just 1 hour on another day, or it might be, whatever. So I write that down, and then as I achieve it that day, so let's say that Monday I said I was going to write for 2 hours, and at the end of Monday, if I wrote for those 2 hours, then I move it from I just move the little sticky from the to do to the done. And or I might just move it to in progress if I still didn't do it, right? Or I might just leave it in the to do, and then I know at the end of the week that maybe I'm 5 of those 7 I moved down to the done, and I had 2 days where I just didn't get it done for whatever reason. I mean, it doesn't matter, but it helps me to see how I'm doing and feel successful. Like, okay, or otherwise I would just end the week saying, I didn't do it every single day. I missed a couple of days, or I didn't feel like I got enough done. I missed a lot of days. Well, really, I didn't miss a lot of days. I only missed 2 days, and I wrote for 5 days. So that is good, right? That's successful. It doesn't have to be 100% each time, but just documenting your progress so that you can see any way you want to do it. You can have little jelly beans, so you have a jar of little pebbles or whatever, right, at the end of the year, and you can see like these are the 365 days. And that is almost empty compared to how many days I wrote in the jar, that, that my writing jar. And, there's just a million ways to do it so that you can sort of feel that success and not feel like you are undisciplined, because you can see that you really are, that you really did do things that you said you were going to do. And then lastly is to reward yourself. Now, imagine that you're going to work and you're working really hard, right? Or you think of your job, where whatever it is you do, and that you work every single day and you try your hardest and nobody notices. You don't ever, nobody says thank you, nobody rewards you in any way. And we're not 5 years old and we don't need to have rewards all the time. But if you just are never appreciated for the work that you're doing, then the motivation sometimes starts to go away, and then you start to become less disciplined because there's nobody watching you, there's no appreciation, there's no reward for all this hard work you're doing. So do the little things. It doesn't have to be huge. I mean, to me, taking a little break and coming for a walk with my dogs is a reward. So I write, I'm trying to write more in the morning, but I usually write at night. But if I am a morning writer and I finish my writing, and then I can be rewarded by taking my dogs out. So, but it can be another thing. It can be just going to Starbucks and saying, okay, after I write a certain thing, or if I have a good writing day today, tomorrow morning when I get up, I'm going to go to Starbucks and just spend 15 minutes enjoying my coffee by myself and thinking about whatever, right? So it can be little rewards. It doesn't have to be something huge, but just do something so that you're showing appreciation for your progress and for yourself, right? So find a way to do that, and then that will increase your discipline, because you will see that you're making progress, and you'll get some little reward yourself in certain ways for doing well. Okay, so I hope that these things to do or not do help you to kind of increase your the thought of being disciplined or undisciplined, that you are actually realizing that maybe you are more disciplined than you are, or what's keeping you from becoming more disciplined. So because discipline is not really like I am motivated or I'm not motivated. It's not really you. It's more of like the things that you're doing in order to be able to be more effective and more successful. And sometimes we think, I'm just not disciplined, or I'm just not a motivated person. And it's really not true. It's just that you're not setting things up properly in order to be more disciplined, in order to be able to get your writing done and your work done. So I hope this helps. And if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more videos like this, just leave me a comment. Please like this page and share it with your friends and other writer friends. All right, and I will see you again next week. Bye-bye.